Okay, good morning, guys. Hope you are all doing very well. This is May 20th, Wednesday, and we have been reading chapters 5 and 6, right? So we will recap with you, we will recap on, well, not Monday, but probably on Friday or next Monday. We will recap everything we have been looking at, okay? So in chapter 5, the most important thing that has happened is that Mary finally finds Colin, right? She hears these cries every time, ever since she arrived to Misselthwaite Manor. And now she followed the cries and she found Colin, a very pale, uh, skinny boy who is bedridden. And as he tells her, he's been like that ever since. And they seem to get along pretty well. So she decides to come and visit him every afternoon. On chapter 6, okay, we have that Mary has a different encounter with Colin because the weather had not been very nice. And then it was a sunny day and she went out and she didn't go visit him. And when she came back, he was very, very, very mad at her. He was screaming, he was shouting at everyone. And well, she got mad also at him. So he kept saying that he was going to be dead soon, that he was ill, that his back is crooked. So they were having a fight, and there's where we ended, right? At the end of page 43. So now we're gonna continue. I'm just going to start on the last paragraph on page 43. It says, Martha and Mrs. Medlock were standing at the door. Remember, they had been crying and they had been fighting, right? So staring at Mary, their mouths half open. They both looked very frightened. Martha came forward to help, and Miss Mary looked carefully at Colin's thin white back, up and down. Her face was very serious and angry at the same time. The room was very quiet. So let's see what happens. What does she find in his back? So look at the picture. Okay, Mary's checking Colin's back. It says up and down. Okay, very good. So it says, there's nothing wrong with your back, she said at last. Nothing at all. It's as straight as mine. Only Colin knew how important those crossly spoken childish words were. All his life, he had been afraid to ask about his back, and his terrible fear had made him ill. Now, an angry little girl told him his back was straight, and he believed her. He was no longer afraid. But they were both calmer now. He gave Mary his hand. I'm almost sure I will live if we can go out in the garden together sometimes. I'm very tired now. Will you stay with me until I go to sleep? The servants went out very quietly. I'll tell you about the secret garden, whispered Mary. I think it's full of roses and beautiful flowers. Birds like making their nests there because it's so quiet and safe. And perhaps our robin, but Colin was already asleep. He was tired. Remember, he had been shouting and screaming, and his temper had been very bad. So he was very tired right now. The next day, Mary met Dickon as usual in the secret garden and told him about Colin. Mary loved Dickens's Yorkshire dialect and was trying to learn it herself. She spoke a little now. Look how it's spelled, okay? We mun get poor Colin out here in the sunshine, and we mun not lose no time about it. Dickon laughed. Well done. I didn't know you could speak Yorkshire. You're right. We must bring Colin to the garden as soon as we can. So that afternoon, she went to see Colin. I'm sorry, I said. I'd send Dickon away, he said. I hated you when you said he was like an angel. Well, he's a funny kind of angel, but he understands wild animals better than anyone. Suddenly, Mary knew that this was the right moment to tell him. She caught hold of his hands. Colin, this is important. Can you keep a secret? Yes, yes, he whispered excitedly. What is it? We've found the door into the secret garden. Oh, Mary, will I live long enough to see it? Ah, imagine a 10 years old boy saying like something like this. Of course you will. Don't be stupid, said Mary crossly. But it was a very natural thing to say, and they both laughed. Colin told Mrs. Medlock that the doctor he wanted to go out in his wheelchair. At first, the doctor was worried. The boy would get too tired. But when he heard that Dickon would push the wheelchair, he agreed. Dickon's a sensible boy, he told Colin. But don't forget. I've told you, I want to forget that I'm ill, said Colin in his prince's voice. Don't you understand? It's because my cousin makes me forget that I feel better when I'm with her. Okay, and that's like the end of our 6th chapter. Remember, this is a very short version. You have the a long version which you could read if you wanted to, and you have the audiobook, which is a longer version also. So up to here, we have been reading chapter 6. Two very important things. Mary finds Colin. She makes friends with him. Now they both know they are relatives. They are cousins, right? Then Mary also gets this great thing to know in chapter 6, that he's not ill, that his back is not crooked, that he can be better, that can get better. And even the doctor gives him the permission to go out with Dickon. And that's what's going to happen next chapter. Okay, we are going to see how Dickon starts to visit the secret garden and what happens when he gets involved with nature and he gets out and receives sun. And remember, he has never left the room. He has always been bedridden. He has always been in that room. And as you will see in the movie, the curtains were always closed. He also received some treatment in his legs because imagine someone who has always been in bed and hasn't walked ever, his muscles are not strong. So he cannot walk, but because of that, not because something is wrong with his legs. Very good. So I would suggest, I had some pictures to share with you from the movie. There are many versions of the movie, of course, and but the latest one is very nice, and it's the one we will be watching pretty soon. Let me share this picture with you. Okay, so let me get into the full screen and share the screen here. So this is the actor who plays as Dickon. Okay, so as you see, when he's here, there are the three children. This is Dickon with the squirrel on his shoulder, look. And this is Colin. Okay, and these are what they look like today. Here are pictures of them nowadays. So here you have Colin. See, he seems like he's very pale. Okay, and this one is Dickon. And here you have a picture of all the characters in this movie. Okay, but no, it seems that's not a good idea because it doesn't show. Let me just go back here. This is also a picture from Pinterest. Look how crossly he looks. That's Colin. He's very mad and his face shows it. Okay, so let me get into the other picture that I'm trying to show you. Well, this one isn't really the one I wanted, but good. So this is Colin, right? Look, I'll show it to you right now in this movie. Very good. Here, let me enter full screen and I'll share the screen with you. So this is Colin, right? Several pictures of him, okay? So it's nice to meet the characters or at least have an idea. Here's when Mary meets him, okay? And that's the room. You will see on the description, how it looks, tapestry. Remember the word tapestry? And it was full of tapestry all around. It's a huge house that we are visiting, right? So I will continue to work like this on Friday. We will start reading on chapter 7. I suggest you listen to the audiobook also. It's very nice. It's a longer version, so it has more descriptions. And you can do it on your own. Monday, it's holiday because of May 24th, Batalla de Pichincha. So for this next week, we will have to wait until Wednesday to do the recap and to have the exercise just for this other week, okay? So I hope you're enjoying the novel. If you have, start writing down if you have any questions, if you have any doubts on the book, on the different characters, and bring them up when we meet on the next time. Okay, very good. I'll send a message with Naomi to tell you when we are meeting. It will be next Wednesday. Okay, very good. So I'm gonna leave you now. I hope you have a great day today, that you enjoy it, and hope you watch the video. Okay, goodbye. Bye-bye.